Hello, this is Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. There are many reasons why people in our nation and throughout the world obtain abortions. Most of them are not the reasons that most people think or approve of. Even those who provide abortions will tell us the statistics, the reasons why most of the people go to them for the abortions, and these are for reasons such as, I don't feel ready to have the child, I don't have the support of the father of the child, I'm just too young, and so on and so forth. Social reasons, not medical reasons, and certainly not the reasons of rape, incest, and life of the mother. These account for such a small fraction of the numbers of abortions that take place that it's practically none. But brothers and sisters, we need to be able to explain to people why, even in those cases, abortion is morally wrong. How would you answer someone who asks you, do you oppose abortion even in the case where the woman was raped? Let's explain how we would answer this question. When someone asks you that, understand what they're really asking you. They're asking you whether or not you're concerned for that woman. And our answer is yes. Of course we're concerned about her. And before we even begin speaking about the rights of the child, let's make it very clear in that moment that we're concerned about that woman who has undergone a terrible act of violence and who needs and will receive our compassion, counseling, and whatever else she needs to be guided and strengthened to get over the terrible trauma of rape. And so we can agree with the person who is asking us the question that, first of all, that woman deserves our compassion and our help. She will receive that help. So now the question becomes what? Will the abortion help her? And here is where so many people forget that abortion is not a magic wand. It's not a solution. It brings its own trauma. It brings its own wound, its own pain. If a woman has been raped, we need to help her to deal with that trauma. We don't need to give her another trauma. But the abortion will harm her. Not only will it kill her child, it will harm her. There are people today who have been raped and then conceived and then had abortions who are in counseling because of the abortion, not because of the rape. They're both wrong. And they're both wrong for a similar reason. Rape is wrong because someone has attacked the body of an innocent person. But abortion is also wrong because someone attacks the body of an innocent person. And if the woman herself allows that to happen to that child, she has to bear the trauma and the guilt of knowing that she was involved in the taking of a life. It isn't a solution. Some people say, oh, but if she has the child is going to remind her of the terrible rape. But my dear friends, do you think that if she aborts that child, she's going to forget that child? She won't. People who abort their children do not forget those children. But those who bring those children to birth have now a child who is able to love them back. And that kind of love also can be a tremendous source of healing, of peace, and of joy. The question that we have to ask in turn when someone says to us, why do you oppose abortion even in the case of rape, is the simple question, why can't we love them both? Why can't we help them both? Why can't we protect both the mother and the child? We have two lives at stake. And finally, once we've established that we care for this woman and that the abortion will not help her but will hurt her, then we also need to make the point about the rights of the child himself. The circumstances under which someone is conceived, even if they are as terrible as a rape, do not take away that person's dignity. nor is that person guilty of any crime. The crime was committed by the father, not the child who resulted. Imagine, and this I often say to high school students, imagine that a high school student comes home from school and is in his or her room listening to music or talking on the phone or doing homework or whatever, and someone knocks at the door. And the teenager goes to the door, and there's a detective and an officer there who say, "Is this the home of Mr. Jones?" "Yes, it is. How can I help you?" "He's committed a terrible crime. Is he here?" "No, but I'm his son. I'm his daughter. We're going to take you instead." And they take that teenager, throw him or her in jail, and then sentence them to the death penalty. "Oh, but this is not fair." Of course not. You don't kill a child for the crime of the father. And yet that's what happens when children conceived in rape are aborted. The abortion tears them to shreds, throws them in the garbage. It's the same false idea, brothers and sisters, that comes up in many other circumstances where we think that death is a solution to the problems of society. It's not. It never will be. Violence never heals violence. Never. Let us pray and work together as the people of life to provide better solutions to the tragedy of rape and, in fact, to prevent these terrible crimes. Let us pray for all our people, all people in the world, that they may walk the paths of virtue and of respect for life. God bless you.